takes on the Florida Gators at 7 p.m. That'll be at the O'Connell Center in Gainesville. Foul on the perimeter by Smith.
Conference play getting cranked up on this week, Tuesday night. 9 straight weeks, the 18-game schedule, the second year with the 18-game schedule in the expanded Southeastern Conference.
I like it. I like the extra 2 conference games.
Yes, indeed.
You know what else I like is the fact that all the teams, this came from the SEC offices, they've all beefed up their out-of-conference schedules.
Yeah, I think the teams responded to the increase in conference games. Hey, we're playing 18 conference games, and we need to ease up on the non-conference schedule. I think the teams have realized they don't need to go too easy on those non-conference schedules, and this Dayton game, the result of teams trying to beef up those non-conference schedules.
Tough shot blocked away. Quickly on the other end, it's Dayton. Count the basket and the harm. Scoochie Smith, and you can see why they're high on this freshman back in Dayton.
Nice outlet pass from Matt Kavanaugh, finding Scoochie Smith on the run ahead of the Ole Miss defense, and Smith able to get to the rim and finish before the defense can get there.
Smith out of the Big Apple. Some pretty good point guards have come out of that neck of the woods over the years. And can't get the bounce and roll on the free throw.
You mentioned it, Mike. Both these teams do struggle from the foul line. Both right around 2/3 of their foul shots made.
Summers leaves it short. Dayton clears. Nice hook shot there by the big man. That's Matt Kavanaugh, who had to sit out last year. He was actually kicked out of school for a year, and now he's back in a Dayton uniform.
You can see he looks very comfortable making that post-up move. Kavanaugh only averages about 4 points a game. Dayton is balanced attack. Their leading scorer is only at 13 a game, and Seibert.
With hands by Seibert and a foul reaching in.
Ole Miss struggling from the field, only 3 of 11 from the field so far in this ball game, but yet they're hanging around. Marshall Henderson hadn't been involved very much in the action as he steps back on the court on cue. Rebels hanging in there against the Flyers.
He's only taken 2 shots. They've both been 3-pointers. Henderson's been quiet. He's so streaky, you know, at any time he can catch fire, and before you know it, he's got 15 points in a hurry.
He gets one to go down, and all of a sudden he thinks he's smoking hot. He'll let 3 or 4 fly in a real big hurry.
3-second call on Ole Miss. I think they got Aaron Jones pitching a tent in the lane.
Yeah, Aaron Jones blew out his knee last year and missed the second half of the season for the Rebels. A big blow to Ole Miss to lose him in that Kentucky game. Good to have him back on the court.
Going around the horn. Shot clock under 10. Down to 5. Got a fire. And over the back foul on Matt Kavanaugh. And that'll bring us to a timeout here with 11:33 to play in the first half. Dayton
Louisville, Mississippi, so not too far away. And the 06 Big East Coach of the Year and SEC Coach of the Year in 07 and in 2013.
He's a heck of a player here, parade All-American while playing his high school ball. Will they count that shot? They say no, to the fans' dismay. Foul on 22, Kendall Pollard.
Millinghouse driving it along the baseline. They call that on the floor. You see Pat Adams moving toward the scorer's table well before that shot went off.
Millinghouse wants that NBA continuation.
Listen to me.
The sophomore knocks down the first free throw.
Ole Miss not doing much from the field, but getting to the foul line consistently. Now 7 of 8 from the foul line, and that's what is keeping them in this ballgame.
A 1-point game with 11 and change to play in the first half. That was a hack job on Colby. So now Dayton will get a crack at the free throw line.
It's first third team foul. At the line for the Flyers, number 21.
Deshaun Pierre, who recently had a streak of 3 consecutive double-doubles. He's out of Ontario, Canada. They have so many different guys, Dayton does, that can hurt you. They play almost everybody on the roster. I mean, if you just look down the stat sheet, nobody averages a ton of points. Seibert's the leading scorer at just under 13 a game, but they have several players that average more than 10 minutes a game.
Very balanced, their depth, and the fact that all their players are very skilled as far as being able to handle the basketball and make good decisions.
Terrific block there by Pollard.
Drive along the baseline from Aaron Jones, and Pollard comes over and swats that thing out of there.
Henderson with an open 3. He's still scoreless and comes down and pays.
Fell on that elbow, grabbing at that shooting elbow.
Foul called as Colby had the rebound and got hacked by Pollard.
Let's take a look at what happened to Marshall Henderson after that shot. Pollard comes over. It looked like Henderson was kicking his feet forward and got clipped, knocked down after that shot. Fell on his right arm. He's staying in there.
Henderson now 0 of 3 from the field, still looking to scratch the scoring column. Seibert for Dayton, their leading scorer, only has 3 points. First free throw is knocked down by Dwight Colby, a freshman out of the Bahamas.
2 for 6 from the line before these 2 attempts. Looked okay on those 2, though.
He's put together 6'9", 235, just a freshman. 3 is short. There's that offensive rebounding. Sanford tracked down his Ole Miss, a fresh 35 for the Flyers.
Great job by Dayton hustling after the offensive boards.
Ball movement sets up the open 3. Brick City in the rebound by Ole Miss.
Oliver missed that shot badly for Dayton.
Reminder to stay up to date with the experts of Southern College Sports. Join the conversation online on Facebook or on Twitter at CSS Sports.
Checks back in for the Flyers.
Marshall Henderson continuing to fire away from three-point range. He's missed his first few shot attempts. I'd like to see him put it on the floor, try and get in the lane. He's such a great foul shooter. Good to see him try and get something going closer to the basket or try and draw a foul to get his offense jump-started.
Open 3 is good, and there is Jordan Seibert, who hits him at an alarming rate, 49% coming into this game.
This playing his own defense, lost track of Seibert.
Strong take to the basket, and that'll That'll send Colby to the free throw line.
On the Flyers, number 21, the shot in the air.
See Dayton running this little play where Kavanaugh is setting that screen against the zone defense.
Colby at the line for the Rebels, shooting 2.
Seibert able to knock out that jumper. 49% from three-point range coming into this game. And he has hit a couple of three-point shots.
And he's a huge transfer for Dayton. He was the former player of the year in Ohio, went to Ohio State, didn't work out there, and he is loving life with Coach Miller and the Flyers. Ole Miss with 10 of its 17 points now from the free throw line. That's a three. And a rebound of the Rebels. Jones.
Boy, Dayton moves the basketball so well offensively. They consistently get quality field goal opportunities with each possession.
The Rebels basketball, 20 on the shot clock. Three ball. Rims out. And a foul on Ole Miss, banging for the rebound. We're talking about Jordan Seibert just a moment ago for the Dayton Flyers. Didn't play a whole lot at Ohio State, about 11 minutes a game. He is a guy that's going to play a lot of minutes this year and next for the Dayton Flyers.
Very unselfish player and seems to play his best basketball when the competition steps up. Had 20 in the game against Baylor, which Dayton lost by only 1 point, and 23 against Gonzaga.
How about the competition for Dayton early on? Already a road win at Georgia Tech. Beat Gonzaga. Lost to Baylor by 1 point. Tough take with the left by Pierre.
Dayton playing very good basketball, getting the ball inside, passing it back out for open shooting opportunities, and slashing to the basket as well.
Summers from 18. Pierre lost it out of bounds, and they'll say Ole Miss touched it last. Pretty nifty move. Jarvis Summers really stepping up his game.
Andy Kennedy says Jarvis Summers has probably been the team MVP to this point in the season. What he does with his playmaking ability, point guard, as well as the outstanding job he's doing putting it in the basket.
Ole Miss going 2-3 zone. There's that three ball. Seibert had a good look at it. Great play by Kavanaugh to keep it alive. And Seibert shot blocked out of bounds.
Boy, Seibert came so close to lifting both feet on that. And was, I guess you'd call it a shot fake. But really, he decided to shoot and barely kept the pivot foot on the floor as Kavanaugh did a great job hustling to save the possession for Dayton.
Three off the mark. Follow is good, though. Offensive rebounding is something Dayton does very well. Devin Oliver cashing in.
Ole Miss on the season, they have been out-rebounded coming into this ball game. Dayton does a really nice job hitting the boards. They lead the Atlantic 10 in a rebound margin. But Millinghouse able to get it to the rim, lay it up and in. For that lob several times on the out-of-bounds play against the Ole Miss zone. The Rebels do a nice job shutting that down.
There's a travel on Pierre. 5th turnover on Dayton. Ole Miss has only turned it over twice in this first half.
Archie Miller, demonstrative on the sidelines, trying to get his Dayton club going here.
Baseline jumper is true for Aaron Jones.
Ole Miss, they've not shot the ball very well, but they've been to the line a bunch, and they have found a way to eke out a three-point edge here as we get into the latter stages of the first half.
It's been a grinder. Each team shooting under 40% from the field. Ole Miss at 33%. Three ball, got it wide open, and knocking it down is Smith, the freshman. He's got 8.
Nice job by V. Sanford getting into the lane, pitching it out for the wide open jumper.
Bad pass by Jones, and a steal for the Flyers.
Scoochie Smith with the good hands to take it away for Dayton.
Pierre gives it right back, and with 2:55 to play in the first half, we got ourselves a tie ball game. 28-all here from Oxford. The Flyers getting a 3
point that the NCAA decided that the Tuesday night games, the first round of the NCAA tournament, is played in Dayton every year.
Nifty move to the basket by Newby.
Artavius Newby, acrobatic, and here he is with the steal.
Rebels looking to run. Strong take, a lot of contact, and a late whistle.
Well, for a moment, Jarvis Summers wasn't going to get that call, but so much contact on that play. The officials make it. Here's Newby slicing down the lane, finishing with the left.
That's one of those, you know, at the Y, you got to call your own fouls, but out here, you expect a whistle with that much contact.
I think Jarvis might have called his own foul on that one, screaming, "Hey, they killed me!"
Summers with a game-high 14 points now.
Number 20.
Breakfast. 2-point game.
Marco has slimmed down. He has worked hard on his body to become a legitimate SEC basketball player.
Henderson fades, fires, and hits. And Marshall is on the board.
Getting just a little closer to the basket that time. Got inside the three-point line to about 17 feet before fading away on that jumper. We'll see if that gets Marshall cranked up.
Strong take by Matt Kavanaugh.
Matt Kavanaugh having a solid game for Dayton. He has made some nice plays, nice passes, good job rebounding, a nice finish there.
Left alone, that's a deep 2. An offensive rebound for the Rebels. White got it to go.
Darius Snoop White knifing into the lane, able to get that shot down. That's his game, putting it on the floor, getting to the rim. He hadn't shot it very well, so he's having a harder time finding those driving lanes.
Great hustle. And survey says Dayton basketball. Jarvis Summers, so great hustle.
Marshall Henderson putting it on the floor, getting down to the elbow, and then the fade. Tough shot. Marshall Henderson makes it look easy.
Summers will go to the bench, get a quick breather. Now Pat Adams just telling everybody to stay away from the court there.
Well, getting the Ole Miss bench to sit down. There are a bunch of guys over there standing on the Ole Miss bench.
Hoop in the harm for number 5, Devin Oliver, the senior out of Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Dayton continuing to pound the offensive boards. That's when you take a shot that everyone expects you to take, as Matt Kavanaugh did. Dayton got it inside. Kavanaugh makes his post move, squeezes off the shot. Everybody knows that shot is going up. So Dayton crashing the boards, getting in offensive rebound position. Oliver able to come up with a second chance and the easy two.
Oliver left it short. Dayton has size. They got 4 guys that are 6'9". You just saw Oliver. He's 6'7", but a strong body down low as well. Follow-up slam by Saiz. And quickly down the floor is Kavanaugh.
Price with a nice lead pass as Matt Kavanaugh continuing his solid play for the Dayton Flyers.
Open 3. And a long rebound into the hands of Pierre.
There's a reason he was open for that 3. Darius White only 19% from three-point range.
A scrum. Rebels come away. And Henderson bumped and fouled.
Henderson got that basketball in the open court and had a feeling he was going to squeeze one off, but there's a previous play. Saiz getting after the offensive boards as LaDarius White getting into the lane, squeezing that shot off. And again, that's a situation where the offense knows that shot's going up. People are able to move into position for the offensive rebounds as the defense also rotates, trying to contest that shot. And Saiz able to get the big slam.
Henderson just looking for the contact. He got the bailout. And Marshall Henderson will go to the free throw line for the first time tonight.
Marshall Henderson, such a great three-point shooter. He gets that three-point shot off so quickly, and he uses the head fake extremely well to get players off balance, and he's able to draw fouls out beyond that three-point line. One of the best parts of his game, getting to the foul line and not converting quite at the rate he did last year when he was up around 85% last season. He's around 76% from the line so far this year.
He misses the first one. Carries the second. They'll have a third as the Rebels stretch the lead to 3.
Just playing a little more zone here in the second half, and nice job attacking that time by Dayton.
Kevin Oliver with the deuce. The lead is back to 2 for Ole Miss. Beautiful feed. That was all set up by Millinghouse on a blind pass. Flyers quick to respond.
Nice hustle by Scoochie Smith, pushing it down the court to get the open 3 and then chasing down the rebound.
Tough shot, hanging and twisting by V. Sanford.
30-second timeout, Flyers.
And a timeout called by the Flyers. We'll take it with them. 2
going way back early 90s for the Razorbacks, had 12 in a game.
Chris Jackson had 10. One of my favorite shooters of all time in this league.
One of my contemporaries.
I always thought you were younger, Ben.
Not hardly.
Aaron Jones gets it to fall.
Good feed from Marshall Henderson to set up Aaron Jones on the block.
Good feed inside and count the basket. Matt Kavanaugh, tremendous story. Had to sit out all of last year. Couldn't even practice with the team. He's back and making contributions tonight. A chance to cut the...
Really solid basketball for the Flyers.
Kavanaugh has 8, one of 4 Flyers with 8 points in this game, but he left the free throws short. And the Rebels lead remains at 2. Anderson going to work on Seibert. Spins and draws the foul. Now beyond the floor by Seibert. You see a Marshall Henderson who did not have that three-point shooting going for him. He's been much more aggressive on the dribble.
He has been getting into the lane. Able to draw the foul on that last play, but Ole Miss not able to get it inbounds cleanly. Turn it back over to Dayton.
Andy Kennedy, who is priceless with his emotions on the sideline, just screaming, what in the world are we doing? Not being able to inbound it. A whole lot of contact down low with Kavanaugh and Saiz.
I think Saiz may have been out of bounds. No, kick. That's the call there.
Okay. Oh, goodness. I don't think that was intentional, but that doesn't make Saiz feel any better.
Still hurts. Saiz able to keep his head from bouncing off the hardwood after taking that elbow from Matt Kavanaugh.
Kavanaugh reels. Kick out pass. And the open three is knocked down by the veteran, V. Sanford.
V. Sanford started every game last season for Dayton, but has been used in a reserve role this season and has performed very well, averaging over 10 points a game since he started coming off the bench.
Tapped around. And picked up by the Flyers.
Kavanaugh just throwing his body around, coming up with that basketball for Dayton. Is the kick out from Kavanaugh outside the Sanford, wide open, that inside out three-point shot attempt. Those are the ones you love as a three-point shooter. That ball comes from inside out. You see the defense in front of you. You know where the three-point line is. Easy to knock those jumpers down when they come inside out.
Stepping into a three and draining it is Scoochie Smith, the freshman.
Scoochie from deep.
He's got 11, and Dayton has its largest lead of 4 points, 49-45. Career high for Smith.
A couple of three-pointers in a row for
from behind the arc. Henderson in the game. He's over there in the corner, bottom of your screen.
Dayton doing a better job handling Jarvis Summers in the second half as well.
Summers. And a 3-second violation on Cox.
There's the Dayton player helping the officials make that call, saying that's 3. The official right after that blew the whistle and made the call. Not a bad thing to try to give the officials an assist when you're on the court.
That's a foul on Newby. We've seen a lot more whistles on those kind of plays. You just can't use your hands as much as you used to, whether you're defending the man with the ball or away from the ball. They're going to call that more often.
Yeah, bumping those cutters, that's a big point of emphasis this year, as well as the hand checks on a dribbler. The guy has the basketball. The officials are really focused on not allowing the defense to put their hands on that ball handle.
Smith feeling it, can't hit it. And Henderson really bailed him out there. That was going to be Ole Miss basketball if he just let it go out of bounds.
He had committed to go get that basketball, and then tried to bang it off one of the Dayton players along the sidelines, but unable to do it. Dayton retains possession, trying to get their biggest lead of the night if they can score here.
And the finish there by Oliver. Largest lead for Dayton. Oliver has 10.
Pierre with the drop-off pass on that drill penetration move.
And there's the response by Jarvis Summers. He's got 18 to lead all scorers.
4 for Summers in the second half, as Dayton giving him more defensive attention, with Jarvis Summers able to get to the basket and score on that last trip.
The Ole Miss bench just moments ago imploring the crowd to wake up here a little bit. Stolen away. And then knocked away, I believe, by Summers, who will give it right back to Dayton.
Aaron Jones made the nice defensive play, but then in his haste to start the fast break for the Rebels, gave it right back to Dayton.
Inside, beautiful pass by Smith. They'll go out of bounds to Dayton. Devin Oliver can't believe a whistle didn't come. He thought he was hacked. And now they're going to give it to Ole Miss.
Yeah, it's a
jump ball. Okay. Archie Miller says, are you kidding me? Ole Miss ball on the possession arrow. Under 12 to play. The Flyers up by 4. Nice finish by Aaron Jones. That's going to be an offensive foul. D. Sanford using that free arm to create space. The Rebels will have it back when we come back. Ole Miss down by 2.
That is a big blow for the Cardinals.
Potential nail biter here between Ole Miss and Dayton. That shot looked like it was blocked. And it will remain Ole Miss basketball with 21 on the shot clock.
Miss inbounding the basketball again right along that sideline. Cox barely able to stay in bounds at that time.
Particularly with Marshall Henderson on the bench right now. If you're Dayton, you have to know this guy at the free throw line is going to be the go-to guy. Jarvis Summers, so far tonight, 18 points on 6 of 9 shooting, 5 of 6 from the free throw line. And he really has led the way from start to finish.
Jarvis Summers has consistently been able to put the ball on the floor, drive it to the basket. He's scoring within about 5 feet or the basket and getting fouled on a consistent basis.
Junior out of Jackson splits the freebies. It's a 1-point game. Shot off the window and in for D. Sanford.
D. Sanford playing some very good basketball for Dayton here in the second half. Senior playing a reserve role, but he is there at the finish very often for Dayton.
Cox wants it. Cox gets it to go. Drawing the foul quickly on the...
Taking a couple of blows to the head during the ball game. But still, he's been patient. He has not tried to shoot his way into this ball game. Has waited for the opportunities to come. Has taken advantage of some opportunities closer to the basket here in the second half. Gotten some foul shots and able to put some points on the board for his club.
Rebels going zone. Flyers going inside, and dealing it is Devin Oliver.
Nice job again by Dayton. Patient, moving the basketball from side to side, and then finally feeding it inside. Oliver getting the finish.
Henderson off the screen. Rebound to Kavanaugh. Three ball. Got it from deep. Oliver, and we're tied again. 15 for Devin Oliver.
Dayton again able to knock out a long three-point shot. Flyers have been solid from three-point range tonight.
Our fifth tie of the night. Ole Miss burns its third timeout. Almost a 5 count. Henderson, hand checked by Sanford. He'll go back to the free throw line when we come back. 6 minutes, 48 seconds on the clock. Don't go anywhere.
Now.
Yeah, that's no matter how you're scoring it, that's about as easy a block to put down as you'll find. As Anderson knocks down the first free throw. He's got 7 now. He's been quiet tonight. Has not hit a 3, which puts that 47 game in a row streak in jeopardy.
Sanford has been the guy for Dayton here these last few trips for Dayton. He has been the man at the offensive end for the Flyers.
Shot clock at 6. Tapped in by Kavanaugh.
14 offensive rebounds for Dayton tonight. He has done a great job on the offensive glass, getting extra possessions and those second chance points.
Henderson wants it. Henderson's got it. Make it 48 in a row. 48 consecutive games with a 3. He has 11. The Rebels up 3.
Great job by Oliver contesting that shot, but Marshall Henderson decided he was going to let one go and drilled a tough one.
Pierre rattles home a 3 on the other end.
Oliver getting into the lane, drawing the defense in, and then pitching it out to Oliver, or pitching it out to Pierre, who drilled a 3.
Summers tried to sneak the pass down low to Jones. Dayton was there.
Myers did a nice job that time closing down the drive from Summers.
Out of bounds to Dayton.
Here's Marshall Henderson continuing his three-point streak with that crossover step-back jumper over a bigger defender. Marshall Henderson able to knock out the 3.
Women's SEC basketball is on CSS all year long. Tune in January the 5th as the Gators take on Kentucky. Shot clock under 5. Shot is blocked by Saiz. Here come the Rebels.
No numbers that time for Millinghouse. He is fortunate to keep possession.
And a foul called on Pierre.
Jarvis Summers, relentless, driving it to the basket, drawing another foul. He has spent a lot of time at the foul line tonight.
Two shots.
Four points now for Jarvis Summers. His career high is 28.
The Rebels probably need him to exceed that career high if they're going to win this game. Dayton, a tough opponent. They have a win at Georgia Tech this year. Very good ball club out of the Atlantic 10, the Dayton Flyers, and Ole Miss getting all they want from Dayton.
Beautiful take to the basket by Devin Oliver. He has played huge in this second half.
17 points for Oliver. He is being able to knock down a three-point shot, and he has done really good work around the basket for Dayton.
Summers, a rare miss. Henderson on a steal. 3-on-2. Henderson for three. Got it! 14 for Henderson. Three on the other end by Oliver, a silencer. Wow, he's got 20 and we're tied again.
Devin Oliver has responded a couple of times as the crowd has gotten into the game, and Oliver has been able to knock in baskets for Dayton to silence the crowd.
What a basketball game here. It's a career high for Oliver now with 21. And now is sparking his Rebel squad. 14 points for Henderson. 9 ties, 9 lead changes. Henderson forced that one. And Dayton with a tightrope along the baseline by Smith.
Marshall Henderson looking for a whistle on that jumper.
30-second timeout, Dayton.
That'll leave Dayton with 2 timeouts. Ole Miss with just 1. You see the possession arrow in the favor of the Flyers. Dayton goes to work. Back cut and an easy deuce for Oliver, who has 22. Ole Miss 64-3 against non-conference opponents at home under Coach Kennedy. Oh, what a shot by Jarvis Summers. 27 for Summers.
It looked like he didn't have quite enough space to get that shot off, put a little bit of extra arch on it. Jarvis Summers gets a big bucket for Ole Miss to tie the game again.
Shot clock winding down to 5. To 3. And the rebound by Summers, but he goes down, and that'll be a walk. Andy Kennedy is livid. He thought that Summers was fouled.
Just a play-on situation. Let that one go instead of calling the travel there. But the officials, I can't disagree with the travel call. Dayton gets that break and gets the ball back.
Flyers have it as we near the 1-minute mark.
1 minute to play.
Dayton trying to attack this 2-3 zone. They've done a great job all night getting the ball into the middle of this 2-3 zone to create scoring opportunities.
Seibert can't hit it.
That time, Dayton not able to get the ball inside. The tough three from Seibert. And Ole Miss now with a chance to take the lead.
Andy Kennedy will burn Ole Miss's final timeout. Now, if you're Dayton, you know if you do your
big in the second half. Evan Oliver for Dayton, but right now for the Flyers, it's how do you stop Jarvis Summers?
There it is, the possession arrow to Dayton. Everybody in the building knew Summers was going to take it to the hole, and a great job defending there by the Flyers.
Devin Oliver making the big defense. You want to try and force the turnover, but you really don't want to foul and give Dayton a chance to score and take the lead when you can't play defense. Dayton shooting a foul shot.
Shot clock is off.
See a trap right here from Ole Miss. It's too late for that now, though. Dayton gonna hold it and let V. Sanford make a play. Gotta go.
Sanford waiting for three with two from three. We're heading to overtime.
Poor job by Dayton.
LaSalle. Sweet 16 last year. They came back with everybody except for Ramon Galloway. And yet it's been a struggle. 12-12, 4-6 in conference play. Needing to get on a hot streak down the stretch here as we take a look at the lineups.
Two things to watch for. Which of the small guards, Duran, Mills, and Garland, is going to guard Devin Oliver? The second thing to watch, Matt Kavanaugh will be guarding Jarrell Wright on the interior. That is a matchup that Archie Miller is very concerned about.
Opening tap controlled by the Explorers on the road here tonight. And they have lost 3 straight, 6 of their last 7 games.
Their detriment has been the outside shooting of this team. It is not up to par, not what they would like.
Tyrone Garland, drive and kick, rotated Mills. He's one of the guys that struggled from outside.
Indeed. He and Garland in the 20s and 30s from three-point range.
Steve Zach has been really good. Misfires on his first shot of the night.
Dayton's been playing better because they're handling the ball and moving it better, according to Coach Miller. And right there, Pierre pushing it all the way.
Foul on Sam Mills is first, and there's Archie Miller, a third-year head coach here at Dayton, 54-35.
Great player at North Carolina State. Shot 84% from the free throw line in his career.
Pierre got blocked the first time, missed the second, and cleared by LaSalle.
3 out, 2 in. 3 small perimeter players, 2 big interior guys in Zach and Jarrell Wright. Wright is the man who's the better offensive player.
They turn it over here. So last year was 3 out, 2 in. I should say last year was 4 out, 1 in.
Yeah, and that's what got them. You know, when they went on that run in the NCAA tournament, there were 2 teams that they beat by 2 points. So, I mean, it was really fortuitous circumstances, and it was great to watch that happen. But Galloway's absence on this team has been dramatic.
But even more dramatic than anybody could have imagined.
Yes.
Pass never finds Matt Kavanaugh on the interior. Dayton turnover. Duran over to Garland.
Garland's a take-it-to-the-basket player.
Steve Zach leads the A-10 in rebounding and double-doubles. Shot from outside won't fall. Pierre tracks it down for the Flyers. Still scoreless, nearly 2 minutes deep. Corner 3 on the way. It's off the mark from Jordan Seibert.
He's their designated shooter. Transfer from Ohio State, the best three-point shooter Dayton has.
Garland turned it over. Dayton runs. Still no points. Seibert off the bounce. Blocked. No call with the contact. And Tyreek Duran to the rim. Couldn't finish.
Wow.
Both teams look a little tight offensively. Pierre, tough shot. Holy smokes. Nothing going down.
Did somebody open the doors? Is it windy in here? What's going on?
I'll tell you what. Garland turns into the double team. Both of these teams know it's time. This is the time. Zach inside scores the game's first points. Seibert, other end, goes up and puts it in. Came up a little short of the dunk, but gets 2 points.
Looks like you got a flat tire on the way up to the rim right there, huh?
Indeed. On the drive, Duran. Mills threads his way in. 3 minutes deep, all tied at 2.
So far, Kavanaugh, 35, doing a great job on Wright, 25. That's going to be action in the paint with those 2.
Zach against Oliver. Couldn't finish.
Nice D by Oliver, giving away about 4 inches.
In rhythm, 3. Too strong from Kari Price. Tracked down by Dayton's Kavanaugh.
So far, Dayton has been in a hurry to miss shots. They get it down and miss immediately. They need some ball movement and player movement.
They're a pretty good shooting team. 47% from the field, 38% at the arc.
But they do it not by taking shots that are contested like that one.
Blocked by Duran. Garland blocked by Kavanaugh, but a stick-back dunk for Jarrell Wright.
There have been 3 baskets in the game thus far, all of them right at the rim. Every outside shot has been a miss.
Deshaun Pierre on the drive, another wild miss.
The presence of Zach is definitely affecting the layup shooting of Dayton.
Duren drills one.
This is not the kind of start that Archie Miller was hoping for.
They are 4-0 to begin February. First time they've started February with that record since 2000-2001. They've gotten to 5-5 in the conference. Shot won't go for Kavanaugh. Garland fires it in for Zach. Oliver clears. Kavanaugh, right elbow, in and out.
I'll tell you what, Zach is going to get 14 rebounds in the first half if this continues.
Dayton starts 1 of 10 on their home floor.
Wow.
Scramble for the ball. And finally, they call a foul. 7-2. 5.5 minutes in. UT Arena, Wednesday showcase. Duren makes it 13-4 at the 11:08 mark here in the first half, and then checks out of the lineup.
Duren got hit just below the belt, and he came out just to get a little bit of a rest. He is coming right back in.
And another Dayton turnover. That's their 5th. Look at Kari Price, sophomore, Slidell, Louisiana. 3rd in the conference in three-point shooting, and this has been a good three-point team, Dayton. 38%. Overall from the field, 47%. So seeing them struggle early, a bit of a surprise here tonight.
It's got to be emotional. It's not technical in nature. Good matchup right here. Kavanaugh pushing right off the lane.
Terrell Wright kicks it. Near takeaway by Sanford. Price ends up with it. V. Sanford off the bounce. Tough shot. V. Sanford.
Mr. Microwave, formerly a starter, formerly of Georgetown, coming off the bench for this group, and he is a guy who ignites the crowd and gets his team going. V. Sanford, degree of difficulty, about an 8 on a 10-point scale there. He's a right-handed player, using his left like that. Terrific, terrific player. 4th on the team in scoring. Averages nearly 10 a game.
Midpoint first half, low scoring, and LaSalle leading by 6. Tyrone Garland left it short. Price pushes for Sanford. And he goes right back to the rim. Couldn't finish this time, but got it back. Jordan Seibert. And a reset for Price. Over to Oliver. Devin Oliver leads him in points, rebounds, assists, and steals. And front iron that time. Mills off the glass and in. Sam Mills. Oliver too strong in a 3, and Mills rebounds.
What I'm seeing here is a team that is rushing. It's one thing to play fast, but they're rushing. They're not getting good, Dayton I'm speaking of, course, not getting good quality shots at all. Their mantra in the 4 wins was move the ball, move people. And they're not doing that at all in this game. It's one pass and a guy goes.
Turn off the mark on a 3, cleared by Matt Kavanaugh. Oliver feeds Kavanaugh. Turn it over to Steve Zach. 2-on-1. Mills right back to Garland. And timeout, Archie.
These kinds of situations change daily. You know, we're seeing upsets of the #1 team in the nation tonight. The #2 team in the nation almost loses. These guys are going to have to play St. Louis. They're going to have to play St. Joe's, Richmond, and UMass. So the opportunity awaits Dayton if they take care of business in this game.
They've begun the month of February 4-0. First time they've done that since 2000-2001. So 4 straight victories after starting the A-10 season, 1-5.
And they didn't get those victories playing like they're playing in this game.
Sharing the basketball and playing a little more freely. 2 of the constants during the winning streak for the Flyers. Drop down for Kavanaugh.
First good possession of the game, coincidentally, comes right after a timeout. I think Archie Miller had something to say to his group there. They have been way too much in a hurry to start this game.
17-9 points in the paint, +2 for the Explorers.
Garland will not shoot threes much. Duran will.
9 to shoot for Mills. Zach with 6. Duran floats in. Out of bounds. And a shot clock violation.
And the fact that Galloway now is playing in Germany has been a very much of a negative for this team this year.
And Giannini said, Galloway, the life and the toughness of our team. And he was really loud. And they got a bunch of good kids, says John Giannini, but they're all quiet. And that's had an effect, negatively, quite frankly, on this team this year. Seibert threads a pass through to Kavanaugh.
Ball movement, player movement, the mantra of Archie Miller during the time they played well. Didn't start out that way, but they're starting to get the feel.
17-11 as we close in on 7 minutes. Khalid Lewis couldn't finish inside, got his own rebound, stripped away. And here comes Dayton with Scoochie Smith. Straight to the rim, spins it down.
3 layups in a row for Dayton. Kavanaugh twice, Scoochie. Look at the right-hand column. St. Joe's RPI is the highest among that group. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens as we go down the stretch. And let's keep in mind, those things change daily.
Devin Oliver, the steal and the score.
4 layups in a row.
(17-15) Dayton on an 8-0 run. Duran weaves in. Steve Zach blocks by Kavanaugh. Seibert ahead. Gets it back and fires. You bet. Dayton in front, 11-0 run. Terrell Wright, offensive. And he's down after his second foul. His second. The other night, and absolutely blew the doors off Georgetown.
Yeah, they're a talented group. Now this is very serious because if Wright is injured and cannot play, LaSalle may go to the 4-guard lineup that was so successful in last year's tournament.
Scoochie Smith leaves it off, and Kavanaugh to finish.
Playing good.
It's a 13-0 Flyer run.
Brown is in for Wright. Less effective in the lane. 3 inches shorter. LaSalle is very small right now. Kavanaugh taking advantage.
8 to shoot for Khalid Lewis. Knocked away and stolen by Smith. Scoochie. The kick. 1 more to the corner. Seibert too strong. And Zach gets fouled on the rebound by Kavanaugh.
Well, Dayton has improved at both ends. Play the entire game because of Jarrell Wright's injury. Wright has not been out since he hit the floor several minutes ago. And he's their best interior offensive player. Since then, they've struggled at this end.
Garland wheels in the lane and travel.
I think Garland and Jordair Jett should be a backcourt, and they could have the longest hair in the Atlantic 10.
Good call. Jordair Jett, he might have lost some hair tonight.
He's a great player.
He is an awesome player, but they survived in every sense of the word against a struggling George Mason team. Another 10-9. Good seal off by Kavanaugh, and he gets fouled underneath.
Well, St. Louis did something that Syracuse didn't do tonight, which was survive against a weaker team, Boston College. Congratulations to Steve Donahue on their win against the #1 team in the nation.
How about that? Houston goes down.
And Florida, #2, almost goes down to Auburn.
Well, and it was tied at 66 apiece. Auburn rebounds, or I should say, Florida rebounds about 15 seconds. And the Auburn player, not knowing that they had just tied the game, commits a foul, trying to commit a foul, thinking they're behind and need to send somebody to the line. The it factor that he had last year hasn't quite been the same this season for Garland.
Numbers down, percentages down. He was more comfortable when Galloway was handling most of the duty.
Wind down the first half, 13-second difference, game and shot. Dayton leading by 6. Takeaway. Garland 2-on-1 with Duren. Takes it himself and a foul on Sanford.
I'm not sure it's a foul. I think they're calling it out of bounds right here. Nice anticipation by Garland. He showed his speed right here. Notice how he protects. Could have been a foul.
Good block by Sanford. Say the officials, so an inbound with the shot clock off. 19.3 to play.
Follow your own pass on an out-of-bounds play. Tyreek has been pretty absent. Best player with the basketball right here. First team, preseason, All-Atlantic 10.
Down to 5 seconds. DJ Peterson back to Duren. At the buzzer, it's off.
Bodies quickly.
Steve Zak with his 7 boards. You mentioned he leads the conference in rebounding, leads in double-doubles as well. They are down by 6, and Dayton gets the opening possession second half, and Deshaun Pierre will go right to the line.
Well, the good news right now is Jarrell Wright has re-entered the game, number 25 for LaSalle. He's underneath right there on blocking people out. He had the knee and the wrist early in the game, only played 11 minutes at the start of this game and scored a couple of baskets. He is a very significant player for this team. The fact that he's in the game in the second half is really good for LaSalle.
He's averaged 18 points, 10 rebounds over his last 3, and of course, shot 81% during the NCAA tournament on their way to the Sweet 16 last year.
I don't think any player has shot 81% in the tournament through 4 games. I think that's a record.
He was 22 of 27. Garland down the baseline, over to Duren, hangs and hits.
That is typical LaSalle basketball. Penetrate with the dribble and run.
Seibert in rhythm. Got it.
Designated marksman. He's made 2 in the game. They need a lot more of that if they're going to get into the NCAA tournament. More cylinders have to be hit upon than what we've seen in this game so far.
Flyers trying to get to 5 straight wins to begin February. Get to 6 and 5 in the A-10 and get to the right side of the bubble as Kavanaugh fouls Jarrell Wright.
Kavanaugh did a good job in the first half in the 11 minutes that he guarded Wright, and at the offensive end was very good on the interior. It's interesting that the 2 biggest guys are not guarding one another. Devin Oliver is guarding Zach, and Wright is guarding Kavanaugh. They're matched up with one another.
6 now for Wright, 32-25. down, Kavanaugh. Deshaun Pierre.
Not been a factor in this game.
Seal off by Kavanaugh on the bump by Jarrell Wright. And that's his third. So he and Sam Mills both have 3 personals.
Kavanaugh started 33 games last year, all of the ones that Dayton played. Had a concussion earlier this year, missed several games with assorted bumps and bruises. But he is a major cog for this team. Takes care of things in the paint. Pretty nice free throw action also, huh?
64% for the season. Looked good right there. The lead at 9 for Dayton. Early moments in the second half from UD Arena. Wright, a kick. Mills squares up and drills it. He's a guy that struggled this year, needing him to catch fire in the late stages of this regular season.
Senior also. Played a lot of games and a lot of minutes for LaSalle.
Kavanaugh turned it over. Mills the takeaway. Fires it in. Wright scores.
The push, the dish, the finish. Wright is back. Nicely done.
9 points now for Wright, who missed much of the first half. He was banged. Dayton has to win this game.
I believe it. And the reason I believe it is because they have had some losses that are not good on their resume, and they've counteracted with some big wins, Gonzaga and Cal. And they're going to play the top echelon teams going forward here. They can't let this one get away if they're interested in staying in the bubble talk.
The victory would be their 5th straight. Garland, baseline drive. And a foul on Dayton. Which gets us to the under 12, and the Flyers.
That was a bounce pass. You need an air pass there typically. The transfer from Ohio State doing very, very good things for his team in this game where they need it most.
14 points for him, 4 of 6 at the arc. Garland misses on the first. LaSalle on a 6-0 run to get to within 2.
Jarrell Wright has 9 points in the game. He's only played 15 minutes. And he is not in the game now. That knee could be bothering him.
And he's got 3 fouls, which is also a hindrance.
3 fouls at this juncture. I'd put him back in.
Maybe it is the knee. Oliver pull up, connects.
The gamble did not pay off defensively that time. When you go for a steal, that happens. Five guys on the perimeter right now. Amazing.
Shot clock at 6 for Lewis. Peterson with 1. The follow-away is off and pulled down by Pierre. Kavanaugh wheels and scores.
I think Zach is tired. Kavanaugh just muscled him right there. Zach has played the entire game.
12-3 for Matt Kavanaugh, the redshirt senior, Centerville, Ohio.
101 games played for this university. That's a lot of playing. Numbers down a little bit from last year. Had that concussion earlier in the year, you know, it limited him a little bit.
Well, we missed him the first time around when we had these guys against VCU about a month ago.
Indeed. Did not play in that game.
Lob for Wright. The step through and the score.
He is important. They just put him back in the game. First play, he scores.
You teased it. As we went to break, you said he's coming back in. And we knew he would be a factor right away, because when he has been on the floor, which hasn't been that much tonight, he's been a factor, and so too has Deshaun Pierre.
Nice little three-man play right here. Drive and dish. The help comes. He finds Deshaun Pierre. Take a look at this. This is some pass right here by the guy who leads this team in assists, Oliver. Very rare that a forward leads a team in assists. Kyle Anderson of UCLA does that. Oliver does it. Typically, it's the point guard, right?
And then there's Halil Katasevich, at St. Joe's. 47-40 Dayton. Wright falling out, gets the timeout.
Well, Brent, it looks to me like 4 are assured, at least, if we judge it based on what's happened and what we think is going to happen. St. Louis, VCU, UMass, GW. After that, that's when it gets really testy. 3 teams, right? Dayton, St. Joe's, Richmond.
I'll tell you, St. Joe's had a scare tonight. They're able to steal a win. Mentioned earlier that George Mason taking St. Louis to overtime. Billikens get a win. Here's the resume here now for St. Joe's. You look at the only bad loss at Temple, and they are definitely squarely on the bubble.
Yeah, no doubt about that. An RPI in the mid-30s usually gets you in. So 36 is an excellent RPI right now. Now, down the road, they're going to play a few more games, so that could rise and fall. The problem for St. Joe's is they don't have any win that really grabs you. They didn't beat Gonzaga and Cal like Dayton did. They didn't beat somebody who's in the
with a record of 3-0 as we take a look at the starting lineups. Kevin Dillard, who we talked about a few moments ago, Paul Williams, actually the team's leading scorers. The starting lineups brought to you by Old Spice. And meanwhile for Wake Forest, Chenault, the leading point guard, Harris, the team's second leading scorer behind Mackay, Sherikoff, and DeRochers filling out the front court. And we are ready to get underway. Wake Forest in the white. The Flyers of Dayton in the blue, and Dayton with the opening possession. Dillard out top.
And you look at this veteran Dayton team, they're looking to try to work the ball inside. Normally a three-point shooting team. They recognize how thin the Wake front line might be. And they'll try to get them in foul trouble and get to the free throw line.
Benson with a nice dime to Kavanaugh, and the Flyers on the board first. Kavanaugh averaging 8 points a game. Up top, here's DeRochers, hands it back off to Mackay.
Wake, on the other hand, trying to run some motion offense, trying to keep their guys moving and make it difficult for Dayton to really match up in their man.
There's Dillard back the other way. They get it inside to Kavanaugh. Dillard with a wide open three-ball look, and he knocks it down. Shooting only 30% from beyond the arc on the season. But Kevin Dillard, the transfer from Southern Illinois, doing a nice job so far.
And make no mistake about it, Dayton loves to go inside out, spotting up for the threes. And they got a number of guys who can shoot the ball with great accuracy from beyond the arc.
And a strip by Dillard. Makes it happen at the defensive end in a finger roll. Hey, Jeff McDellick says, let's talk things over. He is the captain, doing a nice job at both ends of the court. Dayton leading 7-0. Jeff Bisdelic, the head coach of Wake Forest, talking things over. Let's see what he runs out of this timeout, Len. What would you want to do? Would you want a three? Ideally?
Well, I put it this way. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Okay.
Man. You got that three, and it gets the guys a little more confident on the offensive end.
C.J. Harris gets the first points of the ball game for the Demon Deacs. Williams out top. Little ball screen for Dillard.
And that's one of the things Wake Forest very concerned about. A lot of the offense run by Dayton off of our ball screens out high to get guys open, get the rolling guy an opportunity.
Benson missed the tip. Harris back quickly the other way for Wake Forest. There's Mackay, and he knocks down a three ball. So Wake Forest countering with a 6-0 run after falling behind 7-0.
Both of these teams want to play up tempo. Dayton averaging about 76 points a game. Wake Forest 83. Not a lot of wasted time once they get in the front court.
Williams had it go halfway down and out, and now Wake Forest with an opportunity to take the lead for the first time early in this game.
Nice backdoor. Yep.
Sure was, and Harris fouled going to the bucket.
Well, that's the motion offense we were talking about. Wake Forest trying to lull you into overplaying and denying the wings, and the wings very adept at going backdoor. We watched them practice that over and over again yesterday.
Jeff Bisdelic, the second-year head coach of Wake Forest University, last year going 8-24. He called it the toughest year of his coaching career ever. A lot of things that came up, a lot of issues with certain players on the team, some academic issues, some off-the-court issues, which got them sidetracked a little bit. But now he's had a chance to kind of weed out some of the undesirables and get this thing back on track. Right now they're reviewing at the scores table, we're told, to see if that last play was either a two-pointer or a three-pointer.
Yeah, and that's one of the permissible uses of the monitor. You take a look right there, firmly behind the black line. You got three lines out here. Sometimes guys get confused.
Well, if it doesn't go in, it's 0 points.
Not so sure if that was the play. This is the one that they were looking for.
That's the one right there.
And now you take a look again, space between that right foot and the line, and Mackay's three will count.
Mackay, pretty good three-point shooter, knocks it down at about 67%, albeit early in the season. Right now, this is C.J. Harris out of Winston-Salem stepping to the foul line. A 60% foul shooter makes the first of two.
He's a much better free throw shooter than that. Last year shot about 81% from the line. And he's the team captain, one of the vocal leaders on this team. We talked about some of the personnel issues that Wake Forest suffered last year. A number of guys are gone from that team, and Jeff Bzdelic feels like he's got the personnel right now that should work for him.
Nice tip in by Josh Benson off the Williams miss. And the Flyers back with the lead. There's Chenault out top. The Rochers hands it off to Mackay. Spins into traffic. A tough shot by Mackay, rebounded by the Flyers. Boy, Lenny, they get it up in a rush, and they knock down the three ball. That's Chris Johnson. His first points of the game. He's averaging 11 per season. And Dayton leading by 4.
Yeah, when I talked to Archie Miller before the game, he didn't want his team to take quick shots. Obviously, he wants them to take open shots. But he wanted to explore inside, recognizing how thin Wake is on their front line. They've only got an 8-man rotation, get them in foul trouble.
Kicked out of bounds off of C.J. Harris. Archie Miller, former associate head coach at Arizona last year with his older brother Sean Miller. Just 10 scholarship players on the roster, so dealing with a shorter deck than most here in the early part of his coaching tenure at Dayton.
Come on, Chase.
Mackay back on the bench for the Demon Deacons.
And again, they want to get to the line, Dayton does. I mean, when you take a look at free throws, they've only attempted 27 free throws in 3 games, but they're shooting 70% from the line. Opponents are out shooting them from the free throw line by 25.
Dillard coming up short that time. Good hustle by Kavanaugh.
And that tends to happen when you're more of a jump shooting, three-point oriented team.
Chenault has numbers, fouled, and he'll go to the line for 2. Tony Chenault.
Pretty strong. You know, he got that ball up to the glass, even though he had a defender dragging on his hand. You take a look at the push right here, getting the defender on his back heel, and take a look. Had a piece of his arm, and Chenault still strong enough to get the ball up to the rim.
Chenault out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the former Philly Prep Player of the Year. And this is the first of 2, a 67% free throw shooter on the season. Actually missed half of last season with a stress reaction in his foot. But back and in good shape right now. Just underway here, first round action at the Old Spice Classic, 3rd game of the day, featuring Dayton and Wake Forest. The winner of this game goes on to play the winner of Fairfield and Arizona State. That's coming up next right here on ESPN2.
And the value of Tony Chenault is he does a nice job on ball pressure, although that time allows Dillard to turn the corner, but Dillard turns it over.
Timeout on the court. Presented by Lowe's continues ESPN2 tonight at 9 as Arizona State, the Sun Devils, taking on Fairfield in the first meeting ever between those two teams. There's Harris from long distance, rebounded, one and done again for Wake Forest, Lenny.
But they're getting open looks. The penetration right there, as Fisher drove and kicked it to Harris. They're getting open looks, and it's not knocking them down.
Parker with the floater comes up short. Knocked out of bounds, and it'll be Wake Forest basketball. Josh Parker, 6-foot senior out of Harvey, Illinois, is checked in. There he is, a former high school rival of Dillard's, actually, now on the same team.
Now, in this half-court situation, you Wake, you haven't been able to knock down perimeter shots. You wish you had the luxury of a big guy who could post up, maybe get you something easy. They don't have that, as Carson DeRozes is more of a face-up guy offensively. Travis Mackay is really the guy, the go-to guy for Wake, either inside or out.
Everything on the perimeter right now. Fisher on the wing, back out top to Mackay. Spins back, tough shot, fouled. And Fabrizius bailed him out a little bit there.
Yeah, looking for the strip. Fabrizius at 6'9"'s got a height advantage. Best course of action, get your hands up, make Mackay shoot over you.
Guy goes to the foul line. High score on the season so far for Wake Forest, averaging a little over 22 points per game. A huge hike from a season ago when he averaged just 14.
But he was a freshman last year, and as I said, all freshman team in the ACC. He was one of the bright spots in what was otherwise a dismal year for Wake Forest. And again, versatile guy. He can play on the blocks. He can put it on the floor on the perimeter. Shoots the three reasonably well. 6 of 9 coming into this game.
Knocks down the second to cut the lead to 3.
Wake with some full court pressure right now. Looking to force turnovers. They force about 19 turnovers per game. And that's where they get a lot of their offense, out of the D.
Archie Miller was a little bit concerned about whether his team would turn it over here on the road, because they've done really well at home with taking care of the basketball, but on the road they haven't done so well. In particular, the game against Miami, Ohio. They had a rough time with 22 turnovers. Here's Kavanaugh. Back out to Parker.
And that's why it's so important for them to try to get inside to some of their bigs and put the pressure on Wake Forest. Try to get to the free throw line, get some easy points.
Parker from downtown, way off the mark. Parker's had a tough time shooting in his 2 attempts. Bad misses. Here's Harris. Wake Forest again deliberate here at the offensive end. There's the freshman Fields from Detroit, and he misses everything.
Not a very good shot right there. Fields a little out of control on the baseline. If he's going to run that point, he's got to exercise more discipline.
Nice knifing drive into the lane. Oliver couldn't finish. Pardon me. Gets it back now, and from downtown, a shot off by Williams. Both teams all of a sudden struggling here offensively.
I think some of the defense certainly deserves credit. Challenge shots, getting out in the passing lanes and deflecting the ball, throwing each off timing.
This kind of pace, Lenny, who does it favor?
Well, right now, I think it favors Dayton. Again, Dayton is a veteran team. You know, they played together, even though they haven't played together in this particular system.
That's the first field goal in over 6 minutes by either team. About 11.5 to go in the first half. Oliver out top. Williams off the curl and couldn't find his man on the baseline. Benson out of bounds, and the Flyers turn it over. And Travis Mackay. Well, what about the job that he inherited here at Dayton?
Well, I think, again, he couldn't have been more fortunate having a veteran squad and having a guy come in like a Kevin Dillard, the quarterback of his team, with experience and understanding exactly what it is that they'd like to accomplish. Again, this is primarily a three-point shooting team, but they've learned how to get the ball inside on occasion. They've got to be able to develop that balance. Right there, the Rogers for Wake Forest. That's what Wake needs. They need more balance. They need to be able to get a go-to guy to get some easy baskets or get to the free throw line, something Dayton's trying to accomplish on their end.
Well, in this match here, Williams takes on DeRochers. Nice feed to Kavanaugh inside off the dime.
And that was outstanding recognition and execution right there. Finding a big guy on you, take him to the basket, and when everybody closes up, find the open man. Simple basketball, but effective.
First Flyer bucket in over 6 minutes. Nice move inside by Mackay, who's getting on track now. He has 9.
And we told you the versatility of Travis Mackay will come out in a game like this. You'll see him on the perimeter. You'll see him down low, depending on the defenses. But he's a guy very capable at either.
Dillard working against the freshman Fields. They're looking for Kavanaugh. Got a couple buckets already and looking very strong inside with a nice jump hook. He's got 6.
And that was the plan all along for Dayton. Again, to begin to put pressure on that back line of Wake, recognizing there aren't a lot of big guys on that bench.
Oh, well, DeRochers was running back like he thought it was going down.
He might as well. It did everything but go down.
Oh, Dillard with a nice crossover. Might have gotten fouled and got the bucket to go.
Well, he certainly got tripped. And he caught DeRochers, the shot blocker, flat-footed. But that was one that could almost block standing flat-footed. Didn't get his arms up.
DeRochers inside. Missed everything. Kavanaugh with the rebound. Dayton leading by 3, just past the midway point of the first half.
Not too long ago, you asked me, who does this favor, this pace? And again, I say Dayton, and now you can see the big guys for Wake Forest getting back a little slowly.
They're getting Kavanaugh involved early and often in this game.
Well, they are, and again, that was the game plan for Dayton, not to take quick shots, to explore inside. You know, the big fella, very adept at offensive rebounding, came in this game, averaged about 4 offensive rebounds per game, but He got a little post game. He's out there, but I think Arch Miller recognizing that the offensive rebounds are there. He gets Kavanaugh back in the ball game. He's the one that's been pretty good at hitting the glass.
There's Johnson. Johnson, arguably the team's best player. Struggling right now. Missed that jumper. Usually a very reliable three-point shooter. A foul against Kavanaugh. That's his first personal foul. That's the 15th foul.
Well, in the last couple of possessions, Wake Forest has succeeded in slowing the game down a little bit, allowing them to play their half-court set, utilizing screens, getting people open.
And Wake Forest now going to shoot one in a bonus. And foul against Devin Oliver, the 6'7" sophomore.
Not necessarily the way Archie Miller wanted it. Again, we talked about the fact that to begin this game, he wanted his guys to go inside, explore a little bit so they could get to the free throw line. But once again, free throw advantage going to Dayton's opponent. Dayton still working the perimeter, and Wake Forest more of an attacking team getting to the rim.
Game is ground to a halt right now. That's a foul against C.J. Harris, his first personal, 14th foul.
Well, it's the kind of tempo that now will favor Wake Forest.
Williams, little two-man game, got a nice screen from Kavanaugh. Benson with a look. Kavanaugh,
there he is.
He has been ubiquitous tonight, everywhere seemingly on the court. 8 points for Kavanaugh.
And again, came into this game averaging about 4 offensive rebounds a game, which is outstanding.
A whistle and a foul underneath against the Flyers.
Yeah, I think that was just an out of bounds.
Out of bounds? Okay.
It was controversial.
Tough fadeaway by Masharikov. Chenault missed the putback and got a reset on the shot clock. Back to 35. Baseline. Mackay strong out of bounds, and wow. Johnson going over the top of his own bench. Doing his best Bob Beeman. Just showed my age, Len.
I was going to say, for our younger viewers out there, you better explain that.
Long jump champion, world record holder at one point.
Yeah, that was pretty good hops right there.
No doubt. Under 5 minutes to go. Kavanaugh, perfect 4 for 4 from the field, and that time he got a little bit eager and walked with it.
Yeah, spun himself into trouble. You got to know where you are on the floor. You know, if you can't turn and you locate, you look down. Most big men, if you look down at the floor and look at the stripes and the lane, you should know exactly where you are.
Harris, two-man game with DeRocher.
Nice.
DeRocher rolls to the bucket and missed the easy layup, but Chenault's there to have his back.
Yeah, DeRocher was a little too quick against Benson. He had position, had everything. Worried he's going to get a shot block instead of gabbing himself and going with power.
Dayton swings it around. Here's Parker. That's going to be a foul on the ground against Chenault. Good battle at the point guard spot. That's Chenault's first personal foul. We're talking about the struggles of some of the ranked teams, and Archie Miller's brother, Sean Miller's Arizona Wildcats getting upset by San Diego State.
Well, you know, San Diego State, they exploded on the scene last year, and you can bet, you know, they still have some athletes that know how to play the game.
Johnson off the mark. Some ranked teams taking a hit. Cincinnati took a hit against Presbyterian College a few days back.
You get that out at some point, man. Wearing the Presbyterian t-shirt yesterday.
Not just a front runner, Len Elmore. From the corner, boy, Johnson having a rough time with his jump shot tonight.
Yeah, normally reliable. Came into this game 7 of his first 15 this season.
Mackay wide open. And he misses badly.
He's settling right now. Travis McKay's got to work a little bit harder. He's got the skills.
Parker took it right into the chest of DeRochers and came away with a
job on the baseline when Dayton went zone in that short corner. And the other thing is McKay can help himself off of a rebound, get out in the lane and run, maybe get an easy basket or two off of a layup. That certainly helps the confidence.
Kavanaugh kicks it out to Dillard. Fabrizius from downtown. Lots of pushing underneath, and that's going to be a foul against number 33, Carson DeRochers. That's his first personal.
You got to be able to hold. You got to be able to hold your ground down there. And DeRochers getting pushed underneath. Kavanaugh using his strength.
Fabrizius swings it around to Williams. Boy, he just took Fisher to the cup and drew the foul on the help from DeRochers.
Well, DeRochers did what he needed to do, you know, on the help, going after the ball. You know, he's the primary shot blocker for this team.
Paul Williams going to the foul line for Dayton.
Came into this game averaging about 4 blocks a game over the 3 games that they've played thus far. And you see he's got the length, he's got pretty good timing.
Can't teach 7 foot, right? Isn't that the way it goes?
No, you can't. There's the help right there. It looked like a clean block. I guess he got him with the body. Fisher can't make it that easy, though, to drive to the basket.
And Williams, as DeRochers takes a seat. Williams still without a field goal, but knocks down the foul shot to make it a 30-30 game as we approach 1 minute to go here in the first half. Sherikov thought about it a couple times.
Again, you see Dayton playing underneath, packing in the paint, take away the drive.
Guy still cold after that hot start. That's going to be a tripping foul against Sherikov. Sherikov from Belarus. Those of you that remember the program back at George Washington back in the day, his older brother played for Mike Jarvis at GW. That's the second foul against Sherikov.
Yeah, his older brother, a lot of promise. Didn't necessarily deliver at that point in time.
Sherikov has had issues this year with fouls. Finding himself on the bench too often, just like that. Right now with 2. Meanwhile, Dillard going to get a little bit of a breather. Parker comes back into the ball game to run the point. Evan Oliver at the foul line for the Flyers. That's the 8th lead change of this game. There's also been 5 ties with under a minute to go. Oliver just now getting back into shape and getting his conditioning back after missing a bunch of time due to mononucleosis. Loose ball, and it's going to be Dayton basketball. You know, one thing we haven't talked about, Len, Dayton actually had a chance to bond a little bit during one of those European trips this past summer. How big a factor are those?
Well, it's huge. And when I mentioned the fact to Archie Miller, he said he couldn't have gotten any luckier to be able to, in your first year, have a team get them early and really start to instill, you know, not only your system, but your expectations.
Yeah, those extra practices are invaluable.
And again, a veteran squad.
Dillard back in the ball game. Kavanaugh posting up on the block. And he got fouled going to the bucket. Boy, Kavanaugh really looking to get his, and why not? He's a perfect 4 for 4 from the field so far.
And he exploited Daniel Green, the freshman, who at 6'10" demonstrates some pretty good footwork. But when you take a look how slight he is, particularly in his upper body, you know, it's going to take him a while to grow into that body and put on some weight. But Kavanaugh, recognizing right away that he's got the strength advantage, just went hard to the basket.
Talked about Kavanaugh's increase in offensive productivity this year. You know, he's somebody who's pretty much destined to go to Dayton. Makes the first of his couple of foul shots. His great uncle was an original Dayton recruit back in the late 1930s, and his mom attended games while she was actually pregnant with him, his mother Susan. His dad, John, also a Dayton grad. So there you have the complete lineage Glenn Elmer.
That sounds like one of those things that only Mark Jones can come up with.
Under 30 seconds to go in the first half. Dayton with a 3-point lead. Game clock and shot clock perfectly matched up. They're fortunate to get the rebound off the three. Harris with the long ball, and he knocks it down to tie it at 33. They can get it off. Kavanaugh.
His season average on offensive rebound.
Dayton with the opening tip. Opening possession. Here's Williams. Looking inside to get a touch for Kavanaugh, and that's going to be a foul against DeRocher's inside. So he didn't get the ball, but because the foul by Wake Forest and the big man DeRocher's, that's his third personal foul. And now the question begs, if you're Jeff Bzdelik, Lenny, do you leave your big guy in there with those 3 fouls, or do you sit him down right now?
Well, right now you got to obviously go with him because Kavanaugh has been so effective, and DeRozier's the only one with size enough to be able to deal with him.
Josh Benson with the bucket. There's Masharikov with another 3-pointer. They're looking to push. Williams swooping to the hoop. Comes off the iron, and that's going to be a foul against Williams. So he misses the shot, then commits the foul. That's his first personal. Williams had a tough shooting first half. Just 0 for 6, and now 0 for 7.
Well, if you're Dayton, you're not happy with the miss, but you're happy with the attack. And that's, again, what they want to be able to do. They want to be able to get to the free throw line. Coming into this game, they were minus 25 versus opponents in free throw attempts.
Rocher's going to the bench during that last whistle. We'll see how much they miss him. Just underway here in the second half. I got off to a great start for Wake Forest, but he went kind of cold.
Kind of slowed himself down with some ill-advised shots.
Well, Masharikov isn't shy. Now 0 for 2 in the second half. Dillard on the move. Williams still trying to find it and gets his first field goal of the game. And he's credit 1 for 9.
Credit Kevin Dillard with the penetration, explored the defense, forced the defense to collapse, and then kick it back outside for the open 3.
Dayton with a 5-point lead, and that's going to be an offensive foul against Wake Forest. That foul is going to go against number 4, Daniel Green, the freshman. That's the second team foul. There's a look at Green right now in the ball game for Carson DeRochers, who's on the bench with 3 fouls. The ball tipped out of bounds by Chenault. Dayton coming off a season where last year they went 22-14. Boy, what a run they've had over the last 5 years, winning 19, 23, 27, and 25 and 22 games.
And again, we talk about a veteran team. A lot of guys on this team have experienced that kind of success. Ooh, look at the block.
Good hustle on the help side by Mackay, blocking that shot by Kavanaugh. And Chenault, boy, he was a blur going to the bucket.
And those are the kinds of players Wake needs. Obviously, they stopped the 5-0 run with 2 points of their own. But defensively, particularly around the basket, is where Wake Forest has to shore up.
0 for 7. Williams with his second consecutive 3. That'll make you feel a lot better about your stroke. He has 8 now.
Once he got that first one a couple of possessions ago, you can see a guy that loves to shoot that 3 start to light up a little bit.
Here's Mackay, and Mackay is on the board here in the second half. Whistle. That's going to be a violation against Dayton.
Man, that's one of those unforced errors. If you're a coach, it just turns your hair gray.
And also makes you sub someone else into the game.
I don't think Josh Benson really wants to go back to the bench, finding excuses not to get back there in time.
He walking the green mile right there, huh? Chenault Knocked away nicely by Dillard. Picked him clean. Evan Dillard on the move. Probing the paint. Sets up Johnson for a wide open Jay. And Johnson couldn't cash. Base up and down now. Chenault with a Euro step. And he had that packed by Johnson. That gets a rise out of the Dayton supporters here.
Well, both teams looking to push the pace. And you take a look at Chenault there trying to avoid Dillard, but couldn't avoid Chris Johnson, who blocks it with his left hand. Now, if he had blocked that with his right hand, he would have thrown it back towards his team's basket, which is what shot blockers need to do. Give them a chance maybe to go on a fast break instead of giving Wake an extra possession.
Knocked out of bounds by Dillard. It'll remain Wake Forest basketball. Wake Forest comes into this contest 3-0 overall. Leads the overall series against Dayton 2-1. This is the fourth meeting. That's going to be a foul against Dillard. A little overzealous on the reach and the hand checking. Those two guys, Dillard and Chenault, doing a little bumping.
Yeah, normally, I mean, if you're away from the ball, you might be able to do a little hand checking, even on the ball, but not right in front of the official.
That's going to be an offensive foul on the illegal screen by Wake Forest. That's against Daniel Green, his third. Well, the Old Spice Classic, part of Feast Week, presented by Lowe's, continues on ESPN2 tonight at 9. Arizona State taking on Fairfield. There's a look at the action for tomorrow. Then on ESPN2, the second semifinal. Winner of Dayton and Wake takes on the winner of Arizona State Fairfield. And also Indiana State will take on Minnesota in the first semifinal at noon on ESPN.
That Indiana State-Minnesota matchup could be intriguing. The size and strength of Minnesota. Indiana State, one of those balanced teams. Outstanding point guard and Jake Odom able to distribute the ball.
A lot of backdoor layups today for the Sycamores.
Yeah, no, they handle it nicely, and they recognize the defenses nicely.
Boy, that was Kavanaugh's first miss. An easy one, and Williams, that jumper's wet. He looked over here at the scorer's table, and he's dripping wet with that J. And Dayton now has stretched its lead to 7. That matches the Flyers' largest lead of the game. Back with more.
The 2012 Rose Bowl game.
Compelling week of college basketball games. Some upsets, some surprises, some eye-openers, and right now Dayton leading by 7. Its largest lead of the game.
And they've been able to do it by pushing the pace, getting good penetration and kickouts for the 3.
Fisher thought about it. We got a man down here at the top of the key. That's number 4, Chris Johnson. He and Misherikoff both shaken up. Johnson getting up slowly, and Misherikoff trying to run it off, an apparent leg injury. Here's how it happened.
See on the screen, and they just bang knees. Misherikoff's left knee, Johnson's right knee.
Now, Lenny, is that a situation where your teammate doesn't call it out and you get run into like that? I mean,
sometimes you call it out and they still run into him.
Right? We heard Jeff Bezdelik lamenting the fact that his players weren't talking enough during their practice yesterday.
But on that one, Wake wanted to keep it very quiet. So, okay, because Johnson can run into the screen.
Misherikoff looking okay on that drive, but comes up short on the runner. You know, this is a texting generation of kids. You know, they don't communicate by verbal cues anymore. But you can't text somebody and say there's a screen coming, right? Pardon me. Scored over 2,200 points during an esteemed high school career in Iowa. Underneath, Johnson stops the bleeding with a nice fadeaway. Tied at 46. Johnson with just 7, a quiet 7 in the game for Dayton.
Nicely executed out of the timeout. Little screen to screener, and then find the post-up guy with the size advantage.
Chenault into the paint. Mackay with a nice show and go. Harris from the corner. Mackay doing work underneath. Missed it, and here comes Dayton.
Good decision by Parker that time. Didn't have numbers. But he got the big fella inside.
Kavanaugh has his man pinned, and a soft touch off glass. He's got 12, and Dayton with the lead.
And each of these teams, when they exercise good judgment and they exercise patience, are able to get the ball where they need to. And it's made it so much easier on the offense. It's when they rush shots, which Dayton did after getting that 7-point lead. Probably thought prosperity was a little bit too much for him, and just gave Wake an opportunity to come back in by shooting themselves out of it.
Chenault with the left hand and one. Took the bump from Parker and will go to the line and try and regain the lead for Wake Forest. He's got 11.
Well, Tony Chenault listed at 6'2", but look at the upper body strength. He's cut. He can take the bump and still finish. Yes, we know that takes heart.
Chenault, a 67% free throw shooter coming in, and the game remains tied. Kavanaugh, meanwhile, with a double-double in the ball game for the Flyers. Working against Masharikov and gets good help from Mackay. It's a 2-on-1. Chenault gets the layup.
Well, credit Mackay with the anticipation. You know, Dayton over and over again have tried to get Kavanaugh touches, and that time Mackay anticipated it and created the opportunity on the fast break.
Parker kicks it back out and gives it right to Fisher. It's a 3-on-1 for Wake Forest, and they blow an opportunity. Man.
Bad pass. Fisher threw it behind C.J. Harris, and he knows. My bad.
Chenault is going to get a breather. The freshman number 2 comes in, Anthony Fields out of Detroit. But Chenault has been a great catalyst for Wake Forest during this comeback. They lead by 2. Williams out top. Boy, Kavanaugh working hard to get it on the block. Williams for 3. That one halfway down and out, rebounded by the Demon Deacon.
And I tell you what, Masharikov did a nice job of pushing Kavanaugh out further than he wanted to. That's why they didn't get the ball into him.
Harris spun and lost it. Inside Benson, and that's going to be a foul against Wake Forest in number 11. CJ on ESPN and ESPN 3D. It'll be Indiana State against Minnesota.
Well, the Minnesota DePaul game went right down to the wire. Took a big defensive play to seal it for the Gophers, and this one looks like it's going in the same direction.
That will take it. Josh Benson with the flush, and we're tied at 50. Fields off the high screen. Fisher, not sure who that was to. And now a chance for the Flyers to retake the lead. That was the 10th turnover of the game by Wake Forest.
Good thought by Fisher, but it takes a meeting of the minds. Green wasn't exactly there.
That's going to be another offensive foul. We've seen about 3 or 4 of those tonight when Glenn at the offensive end, the guy doesn't set the screen correctly.
Well, you can blame it on both. Now, the person for whom the screen is being set needs to wait. They need to freeze their man so that the screener can get there in legal screening position and create the play. Now, oftentimes, the guy who's being screened for is moving, and his man is moving, and the screener is trying to catch a little body. And once he makes the contact, that's when the foul is called. So you got to execute, and it takes both to do so.
The Rochers back in the ball game with 3 fouls.
The best way to utilize the screen is to freeze your man and allow the screener to set it.
Wow. Chase Fisher had just a sliver of room and got the 3 ball off, and now has 6. 2 for 2 from downtown. 10.5 to go, and Wake Forest back in the lead. Fabrizius from the baseline, and he ties it at 53. You hear the fans here from Dayton. They're not booing. They're saying a loop. And he's got 5. Well, there's 3 more from Fisher. He's got an answer.
The freshman's starting to heat up right now, and if you're Dayton, you got to get a little bit closer and challenge.
Kavanaugh calling for it. double team, and a great pass to Fabrizius off the double team by Kavanaugh.
And what made that play is once Kavanaugh got the ball in the post, instead of trying to back his way, he turned and faced the defense.
Fields off the high ball screen. DeRocher's inside. Changed his shot. And here comes Dayton in a rush. Johnson got set. Out of bounds.
It's a foul on
Fabrizius. Right,
yeah, Fabrizius went over the top. Oh, Kavanaugh went over the top.
And that's his second personal. 16 foul.
It looked as though Fabrizius was the one that reached over. The Kavanaugh call with the foul.
Kavanaugh going to get a breather here. Voters told me before the game that he loves playing for Archie Miller. Pardon me. As he lets him be the straw that stirs the drink. Lets him be a playmaker. Here he is with the ball in the wing. Kavanaugh trying to post up inside.
And Masharikov again doing a nice job fronting, denying the pass.
There's Dillard on the wing, gets the ball screen from Kavanaugh. Launching the jumper and knocks down a long two inside the arc.
Tony Chenault's got to recover quicker than that. Off the screen and the roll, and they get back to their own men. Chenault's slow getting out on Dillard and never really challenged the jump shot. And if there's anything that Dayton has proved is that all their guards can shoot the ball.
Mackay on the kick out to Harris. A lot of ball fakes out there, and maybe one too many passes. That's the 11th turnover for Wake Forest. First round action here at the Old Spice Classic. Dillard into the lane, draws the contact, and that's going to be a blocking foul against number 30, Travis Mackay. And boy, Dillard literally had to be peeled off of him then, Len.
Well, you take a look right here on the drive. Mackay is outside as a secondary defender. He's outside the restricted area. So the assumption is that he got underneath him as he took off, and you're not allowed to step in after the player is taken off and make that contact. Good call by the official.
Well, that was a hard landing, even with Mackay underneath him. Comes up writhing in pain, holding that left hand of his, still shaking it off. Kevin Dillard out of Homewood, Illinois, the 6-foot junior. Came in averaging about 11 points a game for the Flyers. Makes the first out of two. Has 10 tonight. Dillard coming off an 18-point game against UNC Wilmington.
Yeah, the Dayton success has been in the fact that they're well balanced on the offensive end. 4 guys thus far this season averaging in double figures. So they move the ball around, they distribute it nicely.
Chenault off the ball screen. Sherikoff to Fisher.
And here's the motion offense. The wings will look to receive and get it. If they're being overplayed, they go back door. Now they reset offensively.
10 on the shot clock for the Demon Deacons.
Chenault's got to break them down.
Stops for the pull-up. Boy, he didn't call it bank, but he'll take it anyway. Something to be thankful for on Thanksgiving for Tony Chenault. He's got 16, Len.
And from that angle, if he hit the glass and didn't make that shot, that'd have been a turkey.
A 3-point lead for Wake Forest. Dillard. Oh, and a miss inside by Johnson, and one. Kavanaugh has his back.
Another offensive foul from Matt Kavanaugh, who just commands the weak side glass. There's an excellent defensive play by Travis Mackay as he prevented a dunk. But still, Kavanaugh just persevering.
Tie game. And Matt Kavanaugh with a big night so far. He's got 15 points and 11 rebounds. Mackay way strong. Len, you're shaking your head. You didn't like the shot?
No, and he's got a guy in Benson who is not as quick as Mackay. A guy he could ball fake and drive to the basket, but Mackay was settling for the shot.
Mackay makes up for it with a block on Kavanaugh, and a timeout called by Johnson. Nice hustle play by the 6'6 senior, Chris Johnson, pardon me. And a timeout. We're going to stay right here with 4:42 to go. Dayton with a couple of timeouts remaining.
Well, you take a look. Nice job right there, Mackay. And then the loose ball, they're going after it. And a good call by Johnson. Take a look here. Another good play. Watch Mackay with the good block. Prevents the dunk, but Kavanaugh is right there. Misharikov nowhere near him until it's too late. And look at Kavanaugh. He gets in the paint without anybody putting a body on him. And if you hang around the basket long enough as a big fella, good things will happen.
Yeah, he's got his own protest movement. Occupy the paint. At Kavanaugh with a
I wish he was one
night.
of the 99% of the big man who would think that.
He's saying everyone else likes to float around and not occupy it?
The 99%ers don't do that.
Tied at 64. Johnson out top. Benson tried to find Kavanaugh, forced the pass, and that's going to be a foul against Dayton. And it's going to be a bonus situation coming up for Wake Forest. Well, the Dick's Sporting Goods NIT season tip-off continues tomorrow on ESPN. Championship game on ESPN at 5 o'clock Eastern Time with Stanford taking on Syracuse. Syracuse with a win last night against Virginia Tech after the Hokies got off to that quick start. And Stanford demolishing Oklahoma State in their semifinal win.
Well, that certainly is a home game for the Orange. You think? As often as they've played in Madison Square Garden.
Harris knocks down the first shot. A 60% free throw shooter on the early part of the season. C.J. Harris has had 20 or more points in every game so far this year. And right now it's 17. Harris, the only holdover from Wake Forest's NCAA team several years ago. Each team with balanced scoring, 4 players in double figures. Williams, a wide open three, got it. And Dayton with a 1-point lead. That's the 12th lead change of this contest.
And in the second half, both of these teams have vaulted out to pretty good leads utilizing the 3 ball, and the other has come back utilizing the 3.
Step through move by Mackay, and he's fouled by Josh Benson. Well, Paul Williams has been a different man in the second half, finding his stroke, Lenny.
Oh, he has, and again, the extra pass wide open.
Asheville giving UConn a little bit of a battle there. You see Asheville out of the Big South Conference. Mackay at the free throw line. A 77% free throw shooter makes the first. Tied at 67. Mackay was 16. And the Demon Deacons with the lead. Over a dozen lead changes in this game with under 4 minutes to go. Try to get it inside. Boy, Mackay may have slumped a little offensively, Len, but he continues to hustle at the other end of the floor.
Yeah, he's creating turnover situations. Dayton's got to be careful with the ball. 17 turnovers, 21 points for Wake Forest off of those turnovers. And, you know, Dayton cuts down on the turnovers down the stretch. They have a chance, but defensively, still got to cover shooters. Challenge.
Well, Mackay just knocked down a 3. And the lead is up to 4 for the Demon Deacons.
Good step out there by Mackay, but Dillard was nifty with the ball.
Nice left-handed layup. A lot of pretty good athletes coming out of that 757 area code these days. Harris and Chenault in the backcourt. Sherikoff, Mackay, and the shooter Chase Fisher in the ball game for Wake Forest. Demon Deacons trying to remain undefeated on the season at 3-0. Nice dime inside, but Sherikoff with the layup off the sweet feed from Harris.
And I wasn't sure C.J. Harris saw Sherikoff roll wide open, but he did, and with a nifty underhand kind of sidearm, get past the defender.
Dayton in a 4-point hole right now. Dillard gets a high ball screen from Kavanaugh. Raising up for the jumper and knocks it down coolly. Kevin Dillard.
Man, you can't say enough about his patience. Kevin Dillard, for the most part, hasn't rushed anything, hasn't forced anything. Watch for the same rub.
Chenault tied up, forced it up. And a chance now for the Flyers to tie or take the lead with a 3.
Yeah, Chenault might have over-penetrated that time and not waited for the play to develop.
Parker. Kavanaugh. And a charging foul called. It's waved off. Sherikoff taking the charge on Josh Parker. Wow.
That was just a terrific heads-up play by Nikita Sherikoff. Take a look at him right there. Move his feet, hold his position. And unfortunately, Josh Parker's momentum created a charge. Archie Miller not happy with it, letting the official Rick Hartzell know about it.
Case stated clearly.
And the final word
to the official, Rick Hartzell, as Sherikoff knocks down the first of 2.
Now, that's a tough break for Dayton because it's good play all the way around.
4-point lead for the Demon Deacons. About 1.5 to go. Dillard gets the high screen. Williams raising up for 3. Got it! And it's a 1-point game. Boy, Paul Williams has come alive here in the second half with a bunch of 3s. Fisher out top. He's been quiet. Sherikoff. Chenault, 10 on the shot clock. Ready to go to work. Raising up. Didn't like that shot?
You got to break the defense down. That's why you get the ball as a point guard under 10. Break down the defense to create something. That's a shot that they would love, the defense would love you to take.
For the lead. Chris Johnson has 10, and the Flyers have taken